really good in the Dolly hood, you guys? My name is Gypsy and you're watching Broken Dolly TV. And today I have a little fun treat for you guys, which is my Frida Kahlo doll that I recently purchased. This doll is old, y'all. It's not a new doll. She didn't just come out. She's been on the market for a couple of years now. Initially, when she came out, I was on the fence about whether I wanted this doll because I'm not an express fan of Frida Kahlo, the actual person. But that doesn't really affect whether or not I'm going to get a doll, because I'm usually not a fan of most of the sculpts that I own that are supposed to be the likeness of real people. I just like the face sculpts, so I will buy them and usually end up removing them from their original clothing because I didn't get them for the clothes in the first place or the character. So with this doll, I wasn't sure because I knew that I already had this sculpt. So I knew that this was the Luciana sculpt, and she's immaculately beautiful. One of my favorite dolls in my collection for sure. And this same sculpt is what they used for Frida's face, which I'm a little disappointed by. I wish they would have used like an exclusive sculpt for her face, but I mean exclusive as in they made it specifically for her. It's a very beautiful sculpt, so I was like, I don't know if I want it because I already have one and I don't really need another one that just looks like Frida Kahlo because I'm not specifically her fan. I'm familiar with the controversial aspects of her as a person, which was that, for one, Frida Kahlo is a Mexican artist, and here's an actual picture of the real Frida. And also, I was familiar with the movie where Salma Hayek had played her role in the movie. She portrayed her, and I understand all the controversy. She was, I guess people labeled her a feminist, and that she was also a communist, and she had a lot of physical ailments due to childhood polio and being in a bus accident. So her body, she perceived her own body to be broken, and a lot of times her artwork would reflect that. And she's very famous for making this image here of, basically it's self-portrait of herself, but there's two of her, and there's just a lot of like bizarreness to her artwork that people just, I guess, thought was like, oh, it's so revolutionary, whatever the case was. You know, I'm the child of an artist. I am an artist. Everyone in my household currently are artists. Art is a huge part of my life, and it always has been. We have different kinds of artists in our family. Visual artists like my son, performing artists like myself and my sister and my husband. Art is just a part of our lives. Like it's just a day-to-day occurrence in our existence in my world. So as an artist, I could appreciate, you know, her as an artist and the way most artistic people think. We're very creative, outside the box type thinkers. Then when you couple that with intelligence, it's like the sky's the limit, the things that we can imagine and come up with. Because I wanted a doll to represent that. I think she does a pretty good job of it. And then even though she's a communist, I don't like it when people are sheep and they just go along with what everyone else says and thinks because it's what's considered the norm. I don't like when people don't critically think about things and question things, and I feel like Frida was the kind of person that did that, and she didn't care if other people couldn't agree or didn't see things the way that she did. So I love representing that through dolls, and that's part of the reason why, after sitting on it for a few years, I eventually decided to add this doll to my collection. And the price I paid for her was, of course, way more than she was actually worth at retail when she first dropped. Maybe double the price. But I don't mind because this doll sold out on Mattel's site like immediately. And a lot of people didn't get her who really wanted her. So I feel like, you know, having sat and thought about it for a few years, it's the price you pay, it's the chance that you take. I noticed there are no head swap changes of this doll online, no place, which is so annoying because I was trying to figure out who matches her skin tone. And sometimes I'll be lazy, man. I don't want to pull out all my dolls and do skin tone comparisons, but I was forced to do that with this doll because nobody else online had the information. So I'm going to just do that here for you guys who might be trying to figure out who to switch her body with for made to move articulation because this doll does not have MTM joints. She only has joints in her upper body. Yeah, you can see that she has no joints in the lower body. But for now, I think I'll just steal a body. I'll borrow one off of one of my older dolls. And I'm looking at these two skin tones to try and figure out which one she fits better. So Azleen is on wave 1 made to move blue top doll's body, which was a different shade of tan than the wave 2 dolls. Verlaine here, she is in just a standard pink top body made to move. So that's like regular Barbie doll complexion. It's kind of hard to tell with her. Take a look at her clothes. I think the clothes are really unique and pretty, and that's part of also why I wanted to add this doll, because I love her dress. I love the colors. Her style is just very unique. On her scarf, she's got double stick tape, which annoys me, so I'm gonna try and remove it. Removing this kind of tape from delicate fabrics, it's really like almost impossible just trying to pull it off unless it's not on as tightly. See, when you pull it, like you're running the risk that you're gonna rip the tape, and it's very annoying. So all I do is roll it. I try to make the sticky part on one side, kind of grab hold of the tape itself, like stick to itself by rolling it, and then it just comes off a lot easier. Okay, so the tape is gone now, and it was folded like this in half around her shoulders, but it actually is a lot wider, and there's the tassels on the end. If you're wondering what the construction of this thing looks like, it looks like a cool accessory for your other dolls too, and you can do a few different things with it. The real Frida spent many of her days in a wheelchair, which now we do have wheelchair accessories, so we can kind of customize our dolls. The body that she comes with, her legs are so stiff, it's almost impossible to get her into a natural pose sitting anyway, so you're kind of forced to have to switch the bodies. If you can't use a made to move body, of course you can use any standard articulated doll body, like the ones that the Barbie extra dolls come in, and that should also suffice as a body donor for her because it's just articulated enough to do simple poses and sitting positions. So if you cannot, make her a made to move body, that's cool too. You guys don't have to made to move all your dolls. That's just my preference. I already prepped this body, which I took off of Verlaine, and I'm going to be swapping their bodies now. And that's how the knob looks on the inside of her head, which I feel like I stretched it a lot getting her head off. But I'm gonna just cut off these tabs. And surely seasoned customizers already know this, that we will cut off these tabs and the parts that come up over this flat piece of the knob, because it makes it a lot easier for you to rebody and swap the dolls later if you need to keep taking the same head on and off of the body. The tabs are really there as a safety mechanism for children so they don't pop the heads off and accidentally choke on them or something. Adult collectors who do this on a regular basis, this is why sometimes you'll see us chopping off that part, but be careful not to chop off too much. So you don't want to cut this piece off, this round piece here. You want this piece there because this is the part that's going to keep the joint inside of the socket. See that hole? So this piece has to be forced in there and then get stuck inside of that smaller hole there so that your doll's head will not come off the body, obviously. Yo, is it my lighting? Is it my lighting? Like, why does her head look like it's so much lighter? Let's see if we can turn on a... Oh no, it's not my lighting. It's the doll. Well, wait a minute. If she's lighter than this body, then what other body can I use? Well, I just turned my flash on so I could get a better look at the colors, because my lighting in here is not that good. And seriously though, I really feel like her body is lighter than even the Barbie's default color, but I don't have any bodies that match this skin tone that are also made to move bodies, because the only other shade that I have that's lighter than this is either the pink skin tone that Kit head sculpt came with from the Barbie looks, or the made to move purple top skin tone, which is like pale white almost, and she's not that light. So I don't know, you guys. I don't think this is an exact match, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it because when you're not shining a bright light on the doll, you cannot tell the difference anyway. But still, like, bruh, why she don't got a body that will match her skin tone properly? Like, come on, Mattel. Ugh. I gave her like a unique skin color. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep my bright light on while I'm filming because it's a lot easier to see the details. But this is basically how she turned out on the body that I used for Verlaine. And we're going to dress her up.
I'm Little Red Riding Hood. My babushka lost custody of me because she wouldn't stop opening the door to strangers who turned out to be wolves.
Oh boy. Well, I put Verlaine's head onto this body as a placeholder until I can get her new body. It's a little wobbly on here because I really did stretch out the neck joint a lot when I pulled the head off. But there's a fix for that with rubber bands, and I'm not worrying about it because it's, like I said, it's just temporary until I get her new body. But I just wanted to show you how she looks with the clothes on. It's kind of fun. We're back with our Frida doll redressed into her own clothes, of course. But she's now got a made-to-move body, so she can sit if I want her to. And her hair was looking very unkempt to me. It was not neat looking, so I removed all of the thread that was holding her hair together and just tied it back up neatly. Her flowers back in her hair. I'm not a fan of these flowers. They're too monochromatic and plain looking. I feel like a lot of things about this doll, it was like, they got the gist of it. The details are missing, if that makes sense. I was hoping that this outfit will be a top and a bottom so I could separate the two, but no, it's all sewn together. It's one piece, so that was a little disappointing. And then her shoes are just a pair of black flats, and they're cute. Yeah, so some of those things, I don't know. I just feel like if you're gonna go that far to create a doll that is, you know, based on a figure that's known for her uniqueness, like, let's try to get the details a little bit better. I don't think it would have been that much more effort on their parts to do that. So I would have liked to see more colors in the headpiece. And the earrings are cool because they come right out. You don't have to struggle with the earrings to get them out and then to put them back in because they don't have that little weird knob at the end that is gonna make it get stuck in the ear. And though there is a difference in her head and the body's skin color, like I said, when there's no light shining on her brightly, very difficult to tell the difference, you see. Yeah, in just regular room lighting, I think you'll be okay. You can get away with it for these dolls. And I just prefer for her to have as much movability as possible. So this is how I'm going to keep her on this body. Her hair is really soft. There's no gel in this hair. Let's take her hair down because I just have a feeling she's gonna look really good with her hair down. There's two twists, see? And then they tied it up with bands at the bottom. Then you just wrap the hair around the ponytail, going in opposite directions. And then you're going to need to secure it with something. Just a band should keep it in place, and then you can just accessorize it. Alright, I removed her ponytail, and I'm not surprised to find she has quite a bit of hair on her head. It's very full, and it's very shiny and soft. No gels, and there's no product in her hair, but it is extremely curly right now because of the twist that it was in. The natural texture of this hair is not like this. It's very straight hair, as you can see here at the top of her head, and the curls are what's making it like this. So I don't like the bushy look of the hair right now, so I'm probably going to manipulate the hair so I can try to tame it a little bit. There's a lot to work with here to style if you're into doing that. And her scalp is colored brown for the most part, so it matches the hair color that she has. And the only thing I would probably change is right here in the front because there's a layer of hair in the front here that has her skin color instead of the scalp color, which the scalp should be the same color as the hair. So when you part the doll's hair, you cannot see all of those details of the scalp. So I'm gonna fill that part in with some paint myself, and that's how I normally blend that in. But other than that, I'm very satisfied with the amount of hair she's got in her head and the way that the hair looks as well. It's very, very pretty, very good grade of hair. With her hair down, this is very impressive. She's a really pretty doll. Very good sculpt they used for this person's face, because though she does look very much like Frida Kahlo, the real person, she also has retained this Luciana-ness of the sculpt, which I always think is very I like this sculpt because it reminds me of the Integrity Toys dolls a little bit. It's a little more serious looking. I do like her in the wheelchair. I think she looks really cool in the wheelchair. And this one, I have so many of them right now, but I picked out the one that has the red colors, because I think it goes with her outfit a little bit better than the other ones I have. If you want to make your Frida doll a little bit more authentic to the actual person, then this may be an avenue you want to go down. Pose her in her chair instead of on the stand. It's different. With her hair, I think I want to see how it looks just completely straight, because I'm so used to seeing her with the big hair, and it's the only other sculpt that I have. I want to see how this sculpt will look with some straight hair. I do also want to take a look at her out of these clothes. I think I'm going to change her. Out of curiosity, I thought I would try on this outfit on my original Luciana doll, just to see how it looks on the same sculpt, but styled with a different skin tone and hair. And I think it actually looks really good on her. It's an interesting outfit. It's very different. That's another thing too about the Frida Kahlo doll, I thought, compared to the other Inspiring Women series dolls that were available to purchase. It was one of the few that had a very unique looking style and aesthetic. The other ones kind of looked like all of their clothes could be interchanged. The outfit really made the doll stand out compared to some of the other dolls there. So I thought that was interesting. Earrings fit just fine in this doll as well, and it's not slipping and moving around in there. Alright, so I gave her a little mini makeover. I just tied her hair up in a ponytail, real up high on her head so that her hair wasn't just getting in the way, and I changed her into some modern day clothing, which I think I had this outfit on Thais over here before I put Frida's clothes on her. So she's just borrowing her outfit for a second, and then I kept her in the wheelchair because I really like the way she looks sitting in the wheelchair, and it's different. There's so many stereotypes that we have in our country about what people look like, sound like, act like, who fit into certain demographics. And it's really damaging because there are so many people just being left on the fringes of representation because they don't fit those molds. And then when you actually run into them in real life, you kind of don't even know how to react to them because it's just not something you see being fed to you through the media. Yeah, that's kind of cool to have her in the wheelchair, because there are some people that seemingly they look like there's nothing wrong with them, but they do need to be in a wheelchair for whatever reasons, and it's actually more common than we realize that it is. So I kind of like her this way. Hopefully this gave you guys some ideas on how you could maybe customize yours if you have one or if you decide to get one. Okay, ignore my mess of a background. I just wanted to show you guys how her hair looked straightened out, which I could not resist doing because the curly mess was just getting on my nerves. And I love it. I love it like this. I love her hair straight. It's super long. It's really, really long hair. Let me turn her around. She's sitting in her little wheelchair so she can kind of be stable. She sits still, but look at how long the hair is. 너무 이뻐. 이쁘다. 정말 이쁘다. 우와. So pretty. It's surprisingly even at the ends. I thought it would be a little bit more uneven, but it really wasn't. And now that it's straight, you can kind of get a better look at her scalp, and it's very well rooted. She's got a lot of hair, you guys. This hair is gonna puff out a little bit more once it's completely dry, because I had to wet the hair in order to straighten the hair with my flat iron, and I just used a regular normal flat iron for like real people, and it's just very thin. It's like irons for your bangs and your roots, real small, and I can kind of control smaller chunks of hair with it. So the front of the hair, I think because it's all one length from top to bottom, I'm gonna end up cutting some layers into it so it can frame her face a little bit better and be more like a realistic hairstyle. And it's amazing. I love it, and it's so soft and silky, the texture of the hair. So it's amazing. Yeah, success. Awesome. Tell me what you guys think about her hair straight like this. I'm so excited to like restyle her and do stuff with her, but she's beautiful. I love it. I love it. And also, if this unibrow really bothers you and you really don't want it there, all you gotta do is just take a very small Q-tip and then dip it in some acetone nail polish remover and just scrape the stuff off, and you can actually get rid of the unibrow easily if you don't want it there. I'm in love with it, you guys. I just love it so much. She's so beautiful. I really don't regret getting this doll. Thanks for watching and hanging out with me, Gypsy, on Broken Dolly TV, and there is no time like the present to have a Dolly day.
These niggas better get on the side that's winning and that's us. You gon' with us, hurry up. Wanna wait, little nigga, better catch that buzz and try to catch up. Tomato head, you never made no bread and you won't make $9. Fucking with these lame ass niggas, never see it like a flying salsa, and that's gon' cost some. Cause I'm taking they sales and the outcome is these